Hey everybody, welcome to Electric Cafe. Today's video is about Big Country. So, I'm sure like most people that are my age and a little bit older, remember when Big Country first came out and their song Big Country was huge, huge. I mean, just I'm not sure if it ever hit the top 40. It was still kind of considered a alternative song or new wave or what have you. But they're definitely considered a one hit wonder when it comes to um, them in America. But they had some top 40 success in England, and their albums did fairly well, especially in England and of course in Scotland, where they were from. Unfortunately, the lead singer had some issues with alcoholism over his life, and unfortunately he committed suicide in the early 2000s, which is really sad. But for a good few years, Big Country was just an amazing live band, and some good albums, and I've really kind of grown to like them over the last especially like 10-15 years. Um, this is actually my older sister's copy of The Crossing. She got this new in 1983, and this is when they hit it big with in a Big Country. I mean, it just what a huge song, what a great song. But it captured how great they were live, especially if you guys have seen any kind of video. Most of their early videos, it was not like them. Posing and doing some kind of video for like they were all their videos was pretty much them playing live. And when you saw them play, you saw how into the crowd was. I mean, the crowd was in a frenzy. I mean, the Scottish people love this band. It's funny seeing in the early '80s, and you'll hear like Bono say this. In the early '80s, when people like Ultravox and Simple Minds and Big Country, I mean, those were three examples that U2 aspired to be. I mean, U2 aspired to be as good as Big Country. There was a time where U2 would probably open up for Big Country that year, 80, 83. That's how big they were, especially in Scotland, if they visit Scotland. I mean, and Bono says that. I mean, he says Big Country, Simple Minds. Um, I believe he's a big Waterboys fan too. Ultravox. You can see he definitely wished he was kind of in Ultravox. Bono in the early days. I mean, he kind of had that. He wanted to be like Major. I mean, he said that in the past too. I mean, he said he wanted to be like Ultravox. Same thing with Big Country. He was really impressed by these guys live. Also on the song "Fields of Fire" was another single on here that was really strong. "The Storm's" a really good song. "1,000 Stars." Um, yeah, just a really good album. Really good album. And there's the band there. Um, here's the single for "Fields on Fire." I really liked their artwork at the time too. It's kind of looks like um, almost kind of like a folk version of David Seville, who did like Pet Shop Boys and New Order and stuff like that. Like almost like a folk version of it. Like it almost presented like this, like Big Country were the working man's band. Like they were, you know what I mean? They were from the big country. They kind of had that really good balance of folk and rock, and that kind of traditional Scottish sound too, right? Produced by Steve Lillywhite, which was super strong producer. I got a chance to meet him in the mid '90s at a recording studio I worked at. Um, Steve Lillywhite, man, he recorded Simple Minds Steve Lillywhite did quite a bit of stuff. I think he was I'm blanking on the stuff that he'd done because I haven't seen his. I always recognize him with Simple Minds, but Steve Lillywhite worked with a lot of really good bands. But you got the alternative mix on here, and then also Angel Park on the B-side's really good. For more information, write to Jackie, courtesy of Country Club. Jackie must have been the head of the fan club. But yeah, Fields of Fire. Really good song. Then you had, well, I guess next was Steel Town. Steel Town. Man, it was so good at the guitars and the the way they play live is just such an energetic folk sound and rock. Nothing, I can't put anything on like it, and it might be because it had the traditional. I can't think of the instrument, the bagpipes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it kind of had that in it. And there's obviously who's going to put bagpipes in rock music, but they did. But that's not the only reason why they sound unique. There is almost like a shuffle pattern to their beat. They're not strictly rock. And I wouldn't say they're necessarily inspired by ska, although maybe there is. But there's a little shuffle on their beat. The drummer was African American, or was it the bass player was African American? I'm not sure if he brought that to the table, that kind of shuffle, maybe that little jazz rhythm. Because he was. If you see him play live, I'm trying to remember, but I want to say he was bass because the way he held the bass. But I remember him being, very energetic live and unique the way he played. And that's kind of their quintessential look right there, the lead singer. I'm blanking on his name right now, which is sad of me. I should have just looked him up real quick. Yeah, that's kind of his look. He kind of had that spiky hair. God, I can't focus. The focus on here is terrible unless you do something like this, huh? Yeah. Well, anyways, he kind of has spiky, a little bit like a mini Robert Smith. But Steel Town, really strong album. East of Eden, really good song. My favorite on here. Steel Town is really probably my second favorite. Flame of the West is really good. Just a Shadow. This is my favorite Big Country album. Just a Shadow is my favorite kind of slower song. Tall Ships Go, Girl with the Gray Eyes. Really strong produced on here. A little flat in the lower range, and that's kind of normal for early '80s album. They were just more into the toms and the higher drums, and they weren't really into fully like mastering it yet, like they in the early '80s. So a lot of these albums are flat, and that's why a lot of them get reissued and want to be remastered to kind of bring out some of the bass and some of the drums a little bit more, and also some of the vocals. But yeah, just a strong album, cool artwork. Kind of like Construction Time again, like Depeche Mode in a way. Very cool album. Put that back up here. Here's another one, Wonderland. Kind of carrying on the theme of the working man's out in the woods. The woods. Wonderland. I believe this is a single, Wonderland, extended version. And then on the B-side, Wonderland, the regular version, and Giant. For those that just want to hear, if you put your records like this, they will last a lot longer. Not only does it make it thicker, but you will not have. Obviously, this was a used version, but somebody took care of this version because I wanted to buy a good version. I don't remember what year I bought this, but sometime in the last 15 or so years, 20 years. Again, the Big Country one's the only one I had. My sister had, and I kept that for the last probably 30 years. So there was a time there when I took some of the records from my sister and, unbeknownst to her, and kept them. And luckily, I kept them from getting in a flood when the house they were kept at had a leak, and a lot of her old records got destroyed, except for the ones that I kept. But yeah, so if you don't want ringwear on your records, this one has a touch of it, a little bit of it. You can see there's a little bit of a, kind of a rounded shape here, or should I say rounded here, right? Kind of there, right? God, my camera sucks for doing close-ups. Anyways, if you want to help prevent it from doing that and help prevent your seams, like look at the seam. This is like a very thin. This is almost like an inner sleeve, but it's a jacket. There's no way I'm putting a record in here. It's going to split like easily. So what do? You get these plastic sleeves, put them in there, and you just put them in the front. So that way you don't have to pull them out of the record when you get them, when you want to hear them, right? I'm not a huge. I mean, I have a lot of records. I have a lot of records. I have like a little bit over 10,000 records and like 10,000 CDs. So I'm not going to get plastic sleeves and nice sleeves for everyone. But recently, well, not recently, maybe like 5 or 8 years, from like 8 years to like 5 years ago, I almost every week bought a 30-pack of these until my whole collection was complete. So like 95% of my records have these sleeves, these nice plastic sleeves. These are the nice ones. Sure, there's a couple of mine that have the plastic ones that I haven't necessarily put in here because they're okay. But generally the ones I buy are these soft ones. And these soft ones, they can hold up to a 4x12. But they're still nice enough for like just a one record. They're a little loose in there, but I don't mind a little loose because what do? Just put it in the back here. Makes it a little bit thicker, just a little bit. I mean, really, it's the same thickness, but it's not puffing out, right? So it feels like it's a little bit more solid in there. I don't know, it's just better for the seam, and that's the most important thing that I'm trying to prevent from here. But also, if it is going to get some ring, right, it's going to be on the back. It's not going to be on the front as much, and it's easier to. I don't have to pull them out of the record covers, just so they're going to last longer. And overall, the cover is going to last longer, better because it's in this as well. So take care of your records. But invest in these plastics. They're not expensive. You get like 50. Sorry, I didn't buy 30 packs. I bought 50 packs. 50 packs for like $32. And luckily, they haven't gone through the roof like everything else related to vinyl. You know what I mean? Like these still are reasonably. You can still buy lots of inner sleeves for reasonable. What I was going to say about the inner sleeves, I'm not. People will hear. My records are made to be played. I'm not like one of these persons who's like I've been holding vinyls for 40 years. I can be careful and be fast, but if even if you're slow, you're going to hear a little bit of a scratch. To some people, that's like, oh no, come on. You can't be perfect taking a record out of every sleeve. Ease up a little bit. You don't have to, unless you want to buy me nice plastic sleeves. Inner sleeves, the ones that are super nice for super expensive for like 10,000 records of mine. I wanted to do a plastic sleeves, but and spend the money there. But maybe eventually I'll get the inner sleeves too. I am that kind of person, but it doesn't bother me that much that they're in plastics. A lot of them are in paper sleeves. Anyways, I regress. One other thing, since we're talking about vinyl prices, I can remember And then you guys will laugh about this if you know. So the IKEA bins that you buy for records. I don't have any in back of me. There's some in front of me here, and then most of them are in my room, in my bedroom, and even some in my bathroom. Because just have a lot of vinyl. So the IKEA shelves. I remember like in 2004 or 2003 when I moved across country, I needed a big one, right? So I got the 5x5. I always tell people you're old school if you have the 5x5 IKEA shelf, not the 4x4, the 5x4. Then you're old school. So I bought that 5 for 5. I remember it was like $130. I have probably, well, I don't know. It was quite a bit. I have the 5x5. I have. And then the rest of them I have are all 1x4s, 2x2s. Yeah, I do have a 2x4 also, but most of them are 1x4s and then 2x2s. So that way I can, put them in different rooms. And I now that I have a little bit bigger place, I could put like 3 5x5s or even 4 maybe even 5 in my living room now. But at the time, I needed take advantage of my space over the years, and so I would get smaller ones so you can stack them on top of each other a little bit taller. Like right now I have a 1x4 on top of my 5x5, so it goes 6 high, so it's almost up to past my head. Anyways, long story short, the prices of those IKEAs are ridiculous. I remember getting a 2x2 for $34. They were $34 or $38. Now they're pushing $60, $70 for those. It's just like this particle board. Like, how could they have doubled in price? More than doubled. If you go get a 4x4, you're pushing like $200, over $200. The 5x5 would probably be close to $300 if they had one now. I don't think they sell the 5x5s anymore, but the 4x4s are like $220, $230. The 2x2, the little 1x4s are like $80, $100 almost. Like, it's crazy. Everything involved with vinyl has gotten so expensive. And it's not just, the records are kind of reasonable compared to other things. Needles and things like that. It's just prices are just, crazy. Can't remember which album it came from. Here's Play Some on Time. Really cool artwork. This was the album that, I thought Wonderland came from here. Was Wonderland from here? No, Wonderland's not from. Anyways, this is their last. This is their, I think, can't remember which one's the Seer. I think the Seer is next. I thought I guess maybe Wonderland's just a standalone single. Look Away is really strong. The Seer is strong. I Walk the Hill, Hold the Heart, The Red Fox, The Sailor. They were still putting out really strong music. No big hits though. No big hits, but and now probably by their third, fourth albums, starting to wane a little bit in the record sales, and sort of hitting I would say a creative block or anything like that, but probably feeling the pressure that they're not really necessarily I wouldn't say improving, but growing. I don't remember Big Country ever touring, the States or anything like that. They're pretty much local to Europe, local to UK and Scotland, probably Ireland. And this one's the last album I have of theirs. I really love this artwork. And this one's in a gatefold. Really cool. And here's the band in here. All looking all chippy and happy. I should take my own words for it. I don't do it on everyone. But I should take my word for them, especially on a gatefold. And take it out. Put it in properly. But yeah, this one's kind of their last good album. I haven't necessarily. I take that back. I mean, I really haven't heard the albums after this, but I kind of went by, the ratings and stuff when I started getting these, and I love the artwork too. So that's always a bonus. King of Emotion, From Here to Eternity. I could be happy here. Peace in Our Time. Time for Leaving. Still a strong album. Still a strong album. I mean, all these albums are right in a row are solid. I don't think if anybody wants to recommend me anything after the 80s, I'd be more than happy to hear. I think this is a good example of what I was saying. So this is a gatefold, right? And it's just one record. Man, it fits in there perfect. I mean, it's a little tight, but it's nice. I could still fit another record in here. Maybe another record or two. I mean, it's got some, but it fits nice. These sleeves they will take care of your vinyl nicely. But yeah, if curious, what's your favorite Big Country album and your top 3 Big Country songs? For me, it's probably all 3 of them are from here. Steel Town, East of Eden, and Just a Shadow. I'll probably say Fields of Fire's in there too. Those are probably my top 4. But what's your favorite Big Country album and your top three Big Country songs? I'd be curious if anybody wants to recommend me any other album that I didn't show here, because I only have their first 4. Feel free to recommend me an album and I will check it out. Thanks so much and have a good day.